Okay guys, we're going to show you the makeup on that switch box for the kitchen and the disposal, kitchen light disposal dishwasher that we showed earlier on how to box and wire for it. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention was you gotta, for inspections, you gotta staple the wire within 8 inches of this box. I go about 6 to 7 inches. I like to put them on top of each other there. Just barely put the staple so that it touches the wire. You don't want to go too much or you will short the wire out and have some real problems after the sheetrock. And that's a bad deal. So you'd want that just barely snug, not too loose, not too tight though, at all. Okay, let's make this switch up for you guys to show you. Okay, the other thing we do, this all has to be in 12, is we usually have a light above the kitchen sink. And we found the measurement is 12 inches. 12 inches off of that wall out is a really good measurement for coming off the wall and out, and gives you good lighting over your kitchen sink. 1 foot, 12 inches. And then we just stay with 12 wire to keep it all the same. I've seen some guys do a 14 up to that, but we like to stay 12 and legal. So, okay, here we go. So what we like to do is we like to put the power next to the stud so that any one of us that walk up to this box, we know where these wires go. I don't even need to look and see. The sheetrock could be on at this point. I could walk up to this box and I would know where all these wires went. Okay, let's get started. So I know this one goes up to the light. For one, it comes out of the top. You want to just barely nick the wire with your razor knife on each side, and then you pull on your sheathing and it comes right off. Same with that guy, just pull him off for the ground, okay? This one's actually in the wrong that one's actually in the wrong one. It's supposed to be over here with the hot, but okay. Okay, this one I know is the one that goes to the panel because it's the closest one to the stud. So that is our home run, they call them. This box sometimes gets a little loose when you pull on it. You want to make sure that is nice and straight. If not, you need to make it straight, or you'll run into problems on the sheetrock. Okay, so now I've got it all stripped. I personally like to take care of my neutrals first. I'll have to excuse the track hoe started back up. Okay. Tie all your neutrals together. Some guys like to twist them with linemen's first. I like to sometimes if I get 3-4 wires, but with just 2 I don't. You can twist them, not too extreme, but just kind of so they'll stay together. And put a good size red tan wire nut on it. And if you don't feel it goes on tight enough, sometimes you can give it a little one turn with the lineman's, but you don't need to get way crazy. Tuck that in the box in the very back as far as it'll go. because you got to fit 2 switches in here. Okay, then what I like to do next is the grounds. Okay, and then this part you have to call what you call pigtail. The inspector wants every switch and outlet grounded to the device. So then you've got to take 2 separate wires, 1 to each switch. And you just take them to the rest of the grounds that you just cut. Give them a couple of turns. Some people like to cut them off even again. I kind of do too. And then get your wire nut on them. This 12 wire is a little harder to work with than the 14, so don't feel bad about having to give it a couple of turns to be safe with your linements to make sure that you've got it good and tight. You do not want a loose connection. That'll cause heat and a lot of problems. Okay, then I tuck it in the box back as far as it'll go. So now I've got my 2 grounds going to each switch. I put them up here. Okay, then I know that these 2 are the hot wires. We have the home run coming in from the panel, okay, and then we'll have our constant hot that goes down to the dishwasher. The dishwasher and the disposal are on the same circuit because you rarely use them both at the same time. So you run the one to the dishwasher, the other one's from the panel. So those 2 will go together so that the dishwasher can get its panel. Okay, this, like I was talking in the video before, or we can add it to this one. This one goes down to the disposal. And like I said earlier, I like to use the red as the switched one. So again, this black one that's constant hot will go with them, with the constant hots. So I'll go ahead and make them up. Okay, and then again, on these, we will need to bring a pigtail off because on every switch, you have to have a hot on the one side, and then you'll have what you call the switch leg on the other. That's how your switch works. I need 2. We have 2 switches here, just like our 2 grounds, so we're going to need 2 pigtails, 2 hots. I like to strip about a good 1/2 inch, if not 3/4. I definitely want a connection. Good pair of strippers, and it comes right off, right clean, easy. Okay. Get them lined up. And give them a little turn. Yeah, it's kind of hard with the 12 wire. A nice good big wire nut, red. Okay. And again, after you're done, tuck it back in the box as far as it'll go. Fold it, put it in the back of the box. The other thing I wanted to mention, you do want to leave a good length of wire to be able to troubleshoot or work on if need be. So you want to leave a little extra wire in case you have to take it out and work on it. But you don't want too much or you can't tuck it all back in the box. Okay, so now we've got our 2 grounds. Our neutrals are tied all together. We don't need anything of them coming out to the switch. We've got our 2 switch hots, and now we've got our 2 switch legs. I heard a guy once say, now we marry them together. I heard that on a mechanic video I watched. So we'll marry these two together now. So each one of these switch legs needs to go with a hot, because the switch will switch from this hot to this switch leg, and then we'll turn on the light. So for now, while they sheetrock, you put these two together and the ground, and I like to give them just a little twist, nothing extreme, just so they kind of stay together during sheetrock and paint. Okay, there's one. Okay, here's our second. Now this switch leg, if you remember, I told you it comes down to our disposal outlet with a 3-wire. Start that off. You have your black and your red. So you have 2 switch legs here with 1 outlet. Now don't let that confuse you, because we're going to break the tab off the outlet when we do the trim on this, when we trim, and show you another video on the trim. So these 2 will control each plug on the same outlet. Ground goes to ground, the white will go to the white, the silver screw, and them are done. So these can just tuck right into the box. Okay. Keep them out of the way. And then up here, you got your red and your other power wire. Give them a little twist together so everything stays together. And then here's where I like to leave my good, 6 inches out for working and troubleshooting later, if need be. Okay, then what I do is I fold them neatly into the box right here. You can fold them in half like that, and that's what you should end up having looking like right there. That looks good. So on the trim, after sheetrock and paint, you come up, you grab that, and this comes out, and then you strip off and put these onto your switch after paint and sheetrock. So that's how you do your switch for the disposal, dishwasher, and kitchen light.